Alrighty, folks. Good evening and welcome to Twitch Line. It is a interesting day here in the Twitch Line studios, as it is day one of social isolation. It could be day two, day five, depending on where you are in the world, but it's my first day of basically self-secluded social isolation, which I actually already broke because I'm a bad person. But joining me as always as my co-host is Acorn. And how was your day of social isolation today?
Oh, it's okay. Um, I was not the best, safest person out there. I ended up having to go over to a grocery store because they overcharged me and because I needed to pick up a few extra things.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm always rushing to beat the crazies. So I got my stuff, went back home, and just been inside all day.
Were there a lot of crazies today, or was it very more sort of like a quiet day in the grocery store?
Oh, I mean, okay, so no one was like stealing anything from each other and hitting each other and any of that stuff, but they were, you know, buying as though it were the end of the world. Their carts were way over full. It was kind of messy, but
So not like when we
people
went
are
on
still being
Saturday.
kind.
Yeah, that's good. So for those who don't know, we actually went grocery shopping on Saturday. We actually walked into the same Safeway that Acorn went to, and we were expecting people like just basically pushing each other over and being assholes to each other. Not the case. They looks like they pretty much had everything. They had restocked on some stuff. There was stuff that was missing off the shelves, but it really didn't look like Armageddon was coming, and we had a good time shopping. Thought it was good. So it was very interesting, the dichotomy. But I hope you got your money back on the mischarge of the shrimp.
Yes,
That
I did.
Yeah, there you
They
go.
uh, they gave me $16 back, and I promptly spent that on chocolate, soda, and other necessities.
So for those also who are joining us for the first time here, I've changed up my facial hair. Hashtag social isolation mustache. My idea is that no person would want to talk to me if I had this ridiculous piece of facial hair, which I don't know. I'm sort of getting used to it, but it's super bushy. I've never had a mustache this thick before, and as I was walking around, I had to go into the office today. It seemed like people did not notice it very much, so maybe I need to maybe grow it out a little longer, give myself the full Fu Manchu, maybe to make it stand out so that people don't approach me. But I'm trying to make this a thing. So what do you think?
It's excellent. I'm used to a certain look from you, and it's been 20 something years that I've known you, and uh, this is a new one. So I have to say, it is alarming, disturbing, and amazing and fantastic all at the same time.
Would it be something that would basically, if you saw me on the street and you would want to talk to me, would the mustache put you off? Because that is basically what I'm
If you
trying to
were a
do.
stranger,
Hmm.
I might be less likely to talk to you for fear that there was some coronavirus stuck under there, in between the whiskers.
Yes, yes. There's a little stuff that's hidden underneath there, so that's what we were. That's what I'm hoping for. So people getting sort of uh, a little like, whoa, we don't want to talk to that guy. That mustache is scary and ridiculous. So he must not know what he's talking about. So they'll stay away. But that's the whole
Can
point
you
of the
can
mustache.
you make a dance?
Let's see. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
Okay, not really. You have homework tonight. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna spend some time on here, and you gotta get that thing to wiggle and roll like a snake and all that. There are probably tutorials online.
Yes, I know that there are hardcore people with mustache tricks that I have no idea what to do because this is my first time actually growing a mustache this long. Even in high school, you remember though, I had like a sort of like a pencil type mustache, not really bushy, but it was there, and I never really shaved it, but it just didn't
Yeah,
grow.
you had the try hard mustache.
Hmm.
You had the I'm not quite there yet, but I'm faking like I'm fully through puberty kind of mustache. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
exactly right. Now you like the time you saw me when we last hung out on Saturday and we ate at Chick-fil-A, but I had like a giant beard, making it look like I was in isolation for like 40 days, much less one. But getting rid of that and just keeping the mustache is just very different. It does feel nicer though because it was really getting a little itchy and annoying and getting into my mouth, but now it's only just the top of the lip. I can just keep that trimmed a little
I
bit.
think I dig it, man. Do your thing. I have not shaved for like 3 or 4 days here, and um, my wife looks at me like I'm disgusting, filthy, and I need to be like kicked out. But you know, it's it's fine. It's regular.
Yep.
I'm not trying to win any beauty awards right now, anyways.
Yep. Well, let's get to our top story of the day, and that happens to be the basically the un like sort of illogical stockpiling of items from people around the United States. It seems that the coronavirus have caused shelves to be empty around the U.S. And that is actually spreading to not just in the United States, but all around the world where people are hoarding items. And that takes us to this man, who is asshole number one. The his name is Matt Colvin, and this man bought all the hand sanitizer and cleaning wipes that he could find in the state of Tennessee, uh, making sure that nobody in the state had any hand sanitizer, and tried to gouge people on eBay by selling these bottles for as much as $70 a bottle. Um, this type of
Yeah.
profiteering is very illegal, uh, especially in times of a national emergency, which was declared by Trump on Saturday. So, little update for this guy: the feds are investigating him, which has forced him to basically donate all 17,000 bottles to charity, and for him to take the loss in order for him to, quote, get rid of the evidence, because he can then claim that he was buying them to donate as opposed to going to prison. But I don't think that's going to stop them from charging this man with profiteering in the long run. So,
Do you know how much he made before he became famous?
well, this guy became famous because this idiot decided to give an interview to the New York Times, thinking that it was a good idea to advertise the fact that he had 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer. But there was a story that came out on Reddit earlier about a person who had made $100,000 selling Clorox wipes on the internet, before that person got shut down, and the Canadian authorities are going after that person, uh, with regards to profiteering also during an emergency crisis. And that guy, I hope, goes to prison because the Canadians, even though they're nice, usually are pretty strict about that crap. Here in America, shady people like this guy right here has a tendency to sort of get away with it. So I'm just afraid that they will allow this guy to get away with it by having him donate the 17,000 bottles to a Tennessee charity. But that, my friend, is scumbag number one today here, on Twitch line. That guy, family man, family business. That guy had no thoughts about family at all. All he was thinking about was how much money could I make in a crisis, and that is the example of garbage that people
Is
have to
this the
deal with
guy
in
that was? He and his friend were driving around Kentucky and
Tennessee.
Tennessee, just
Yep,
like store to store to store.
basically
Yeah.
buying everything they had. Yep, that is
And what
this guy.
did you open up like a an Amazon like virtual shop or something?
He's had one. He's actually sold stuff on Amazon for a while. He had this idea because he was already set up, that he decided that, hey, I'm going to make some money off of this, and thought it was a good idea.
I heard that he also was trying to justify some of his sales, saying
Yeah.
that he was trying to help people get it, but that because it is actually deemed a hazardous material because of, I guess, the alcohol content, maybe there's flammability, that it requires a greater shipping and handling, particular kind of way of shipping it so that his cost would go up by, I don't know, $10 per item or something.
Yep.
I don't remember what he said, but it's kind of he was grasping at straws there, trying to
Absolutely.
justify his actions.
Oh, absolutely. Well, when you realize you're being outed as a criminal, that's what's happening. He said initially when he first posted his first 300 bottles, he actually sold them for between $8 and $70 a piece, uh, which is insane. If anybody bought a $70 bottle of hand sanitizer, they got taken. But you sort of can understand people freaking out. You've got the money for it, and you don't care about money, and that's when you can't find it because somebody went around 2 states and buying everything that they could off of a shelf, so that nobody else could buy them. That
It's
is,
just strange.
it's very strange, and it was what's one of those things in which, like, the selfishness of it all is insane. So like you'll see the price spikes here of of hand sanitizers and other items. We can zoom on in and see, and you see on March 5th, it hit basically a peak of $70 a bottle on Amazon.
Yeah, masks too. Look at that.
Masks
Look
too,
at the
yeah.
masks up there over $150.
Yep.
I, people get crazy when soap and water will do the same thing. I mean, you can't have soap and water in your car or anything, but like if you're at home and you're pumping hand sanitizer into your hands,
Mhm.
it's sort of silly. And those Clorox wipes, like you can just do 1 part bleach, 9 parts water in a little, you know,
Oh yeah, and it'll
and
sanitize
wipe
surfaces.
down surfaces, and that's
Yeah,
it. Same thing.
that's exactly right.
And
And
that
then,
bleach doesn't cost more than a couple dollars.
well, that's the thing. It's like people are looking for quick and easy. So like the
Yeah,
Clorox wipes have
these are
always
the same
been,
people that are
yeah.
looking for, like the people that go and they buy the chopped up onions and the peeled garlic.
Hmm.
These are the same people.
Yeah,
Like
garlic is
can't be bothered just to
yeah,
make it.
garlic is cheap. Chopped up onions are cheap. The so it's one of those things in which, like, why? Like, why would you do that stuff? Just takes a little bit of effort for you to just, do something a little extra, like peeling a garlic clove or peeling or chopping up an onion, and you just don't have the speed for that. Okay, whatever. But you know, profiteering is going to run rampant and things like this. We just have to be vigilant. If you see that, they should immediately be reported to the local authorities. There are stores around the country, private stores, little drugstores and stuff, overcharging for hand sanitizer. If you see prices for hand sanitizers, I think it's above 50% of what they normally are, that person is profiteering on them, and they should be reported to the local authorities because they'll have to have a little conversation with the store owner. So, but in the meantime, just watch yourself online from people charging for $4 bottles of hand sanitizer, which is a little bit more normal, but then charging $60 for shipping. So that has been happening too, where people are looking at the price and they're saying, "Oh, it's a normal bottle of hand sanitizer. I'm going to buy it," and then they get charged $60 in shipping for the sanitizer. That's another way people have been trying to scam people out of money, and just proves that people can be assholes during a time like this. So,
Yeah.
um,
Hey, also on my do-it-yourself tip here, uh, I read an article the other day that it was an interview with a microbiologist
yeah, yeah.
who was saying that a lot of people are buying alcohol 70%,
Mhm.
91%, or whatever they sell in stores. And a lot of people are thinking the higher the alcohol content, the more efficient or effective the cleaning will be. But what they said is for the coronavirus and for a lot of germs, that the way that uh, the cell breaks down and the way that the germs are attacked, it's actually better to have a 70% mixture with water
Mhm.
than the 90%, which is more alcohol, because of the way that it destroys it and actually gets to the germ rather than um, destroying the cells entirely or something. I don't remember the details of it, but I thought it was curious. I thought it was interesting that 70% would be better than 90. And so a lot of things that the people think are that just naturally makes more sense may not be the case. So that's why it's better to be informed during a time like this, rather than just going on, you know,
Oh,
hunches or what you read on the your friend's Facebook page.
oh no, absolutely. Like, you want to listen to professionals and experts in the field to know exactly what you should be doing, not lunatics on the internet that are not in any way educated or uh, have any firsthand knowledge of what they should be doing. Like, for example, there was a priest in South Korea who recently uh, said that he could cure corona by spraying salt water into people's mouths, and the nozzle was being shared by people, and it infected 48 people in South Korea. So it is things like that that it just makes it worse for people with regards to corona, and
Or Alex Jones
or Alex
trying to
Jones.
sell toothpaste that was supposed to kill coronavirus on contact.
Hmm.
That man should be in jail
Well,
for all the shit
he
he's
was
done.
recently pulled over for a DUI, so hopefully maybe they can keep him in jail this time, as opposed to
He's a
having him.
public menace.
Yeah, he really is. Then there was the sheriff in Milwaukee. That guy was crazy. He was saying to people that it's just the flu when it's not, and that it's propaganda. It's not. So gotta listen to proper sources, folks, not to people who are literally insane. But for something a little lighter on the topic, there was the people in Spain have been taking it pretty much, uh, really, pretty badly recently because they had just a sudden spike of cases that happen, and because Spain is very similar to Italy in the sense that there's a lot of dense urban area, and then there's like tons of rural, so the dense areas are getting affected very difficultly. They found a way to keep themselves away from each other, yet still work out. So this was posted over the weekend in on Reddit, and the Independent picked this up, where a fitness instructor had led a whole block of Spanish citizens in their apartments on a workout from outside. So he was helping people exercise from the front lawn while people were exercising on their balconies and sort of following along.
That's incredible.
It is incredible, and it's just one of those things in which people are just trying to find ways to basically try to keep normal in a way. It's like, you're going to be isolated in your home. You're going to be basically just, sitting around, or you're trying to do stuff. This is actually a very innovative way to get people out, and even you stay safe yet still socialize with, people going out there and doing stuff. It was very funny to see, but at the same time, it is completely understandable. And there's just so many things like this. Like the people in China, for example, have taken to TikTok and all the other like video making services to basically record how boring it is inside their isolation chambers. Their apartments, pretty much, is what they are. Not being able to be let out, and the Chinese government have been super strict about it, letting people out only on dedicated times to go to the grocery store and doing stuff. But the rest of the time,
Yeah,
they're just been stuck. So.
they've eased up a lot. A lot of people, more people are able to go outside now.
Mhm.
And actually, I saw an article today saying that there has been a major uptick in divorce in China because, and directly attributed to the fact that they had been stuck in their homes with each other all this time, like just nonstop contact, and it drove them crazy. And when they got out, the first thing they both wanted to do was go get divorced. So it's not a few people; it's a lot of people.
No, it's a lot of people, and here is the article from the Business Insider, as it's posting here. Coronavirus may be driving up the divorce rates in Chinese cities. So it looks like that is absolutely true. The Chinese city of Xi'an, Xian, Xi approximately,
Xi'an, yeah,
Xi'an.
that's
Thank you. Yeah,
the old capital
has seen a record high
before
number of
Beijing.
divorce requests in recent weeks. I laugh, but I think that in America this could lead to a baby boom. something like we've never seen before, with couples all being isolated in their homes. It could go either way, right, Tim? I mean, like, this is just one of those things in which in China the divorce rates are going up, but in America, could we see something like a baby boom like right after
I think
World
you're
War
going to
II?
see. I think you're going to see a lot of babies, and actually, it could be from the same people that are getting divorced now. They could find out, oh, whoops, we also have a baby on the way, because they were trying to kill time. And I was talking to some of my friends over there, and they were saying that after the first week or two, everything you could think to do is used up. There are just too many hours of the day to be stuck inside your home, and so there's just only so much you can come up with, and then you just start losing your mind.
Yep.
And you know the who is it? Not just the Chinese, but you imagine you'll see some of these effects over in Italy, and now Spain and France, and things are getting tighter and tighter here too. I can't imagine it won't be long before start to close up shops and have less and less to do outside. And then they went from like originally they were putting out saying, oh, you shouldn't be in groups of 50, and now it's down to groups of 10. So pretty soon we'll be being told to just stay inside, not go out.
So this just in, for from someplace that we love, it seems that just breaking news here, folks. Just got this email from Chick-fil-A. They are closing all dine-in restaurants. So to help limit person-to-person contact, some of our restaurants may only offer service through drive-throughs, while others may be able to order takeout or delivery. But nobody else is going to be allowed into basically sitting and eating inside a Chick-fil-A. This is distressing because the Chick-fil-A that we go to does not have a drive-through, and we're going to be missing out on chicken, and that's not good.
No, that's gonna be tough.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna have their own struggle when they can't go out. Some people it'll be if they can't get over to Chick-fil-A. Other people, the bars, which leads me into my next interesting read today, which was that they from yesterday they shut down all the pubs in Ireland, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is that's pretty big considering most people will go directly from work to the pub and then home for the evening after that. Um, and so within 24 hours, it also was big news today that the Irish have come up with a coronavirus test kit that will give you your results within 15 minutes of taking it. And the Irish, being funny, decided that this meant that by not going and getting drunk at the pub, they were probably the smartest country on the planet, and they could develop that. And they said within a few days, they'll be making cold fusion, and by next week, they'll be teleporting around.
So we've got it here from the Independent in Ireland. The Irish developed kit confirms infection in 15 minutes. It is a breakthrough, and it is a rapid breakthrough with regards to the development of COVID-19, and hopefully. This test can be developed quickly and distributed to lots of places, especially here in the U.S., where testing is very, very underdeveloped, where it is very limited right now. They don't have enough test kits for people, and a 15-minute test, because I know they're doing what, drive-through tests right now. People can test for corona in a drive-through, and they test for you there, and then you don't know the results for like 4 hours or something like that, and they come in and test you. But even those drive-through locations are they get overwhelmed and have to shut down because they run out of exams, run out of test kits. So that is really nice breakthrough. You can read that on here on the independent.ie. The Irish developed kit confirms infection in 15 minutes. But you're right. It's amazing what the Irish can do when they stop drinking. So, oh boy. Just that alone is just very interesting with regards to just the side effects of what's happening to people around the world. They have in the U.S. here told a lot of places, a lot of states have shut down bars and restaurants. Restaurants are either to go only or they've shut down completely. Uh, because of Corona, gatherings you said have been shut down. I think Maryland said less than 50 people, but there are people all across the country who have had their weddings canceled because people can't show up and come. Their wedding was big, so therefore they would have had 100 people, which would have made it illegal. So that's happened too. Um, and there are just a whole lot of things that have been happening. Flights being canceled, cruises finally being canceled because you don't want to be stuck on a boat for 7 days, not knowing like if somebody on the boat could be a carrier by accident, and then basically trapping everybody on the boat, which could lead to a disaster, which happened, for example, off the coast of Japan and that cruise ship. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy out there. So, and then you have politicians now saying, here's something from Mitt Romney saying that every adult should receive $1,000 immediately. This is a tweet that was passed on by Jonathan Martin from the New York Times that he says that
Please.
as immediate relief should go to all Americans just so that they can deal with short-term obligations and stuff like that. Just a $1,000 handout. Uh, for
Did
people.
um did Yang rip off his mask and it turns out it was Romney the whole time?
I don't know, but people are really, really starting to like that. The what is it? The income that Yang was
Universal basic income.
UBI. That's it. Universal basic income idea that Yang was suggesting, because in situation like this, UBI is your fallback. It is one of those things. People can't work. I've been stuck all day at home. Our offices are officially, quote, closed for a week, if not two. Kids are home. It's home from school for a month where I live. It's 3 weeks, 2 weeks in other places, but parents can't afford childcare. I mean, most adults in the U.S. now are double working families. If you have a kid, to a point, school is keeping them so that they can actually work, and then parents either have to adjust their schedules for schools and pick up kids and drop them off at the beginning of the day. But now they're just going to be home. It's almost like summer vacations started early for a lot of people, and there are stories of people just leaving, thinking that they can still drop their kids off at school and somebody's going to be taking care of them, which is terrible and crazy. But it's been happening. There was a story on this I don't work here, where a janitor was telling the story of a woman who brought her two kids to an empty school, thinking that it was a daycare, when in fact she really knew that it wasn't a daycare, and she just wanted somebody she could pawn off her kids to. And they had to call the cops because this woman was like, what am I going to do? I have to go to work. It's like, well, you can't just leave them with strangers, idiot. So, you know.
Yeah, man. It's a little bit scary considering that if you're making big money and you've got someone who already takes care of your kids and that kind of stuff, like that's one thing. But you think about all these people that rely on the school to provide two meals to their kids in a day. It's like free school lunches and stuff like that. And how many of these kids are going to be basically just kind of left to their own doing while their parents have to be at work? It could lead to a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it is it gets worse the longer it goes on. So it's just sort of insane when you really think about it. So just a lot of things that people have to worry about, and things that have to you have to take into account when stuff like this happens. Um, it looks like Amazon is looking to hire up to 100,000 warehouse and delivery workers because dot 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 when people don't leave their house, they still need stuff, and where do they go? They go to Amazon. And this is in from the Wall Street Journal, as it looks like uh, they are basically raising people's pay by a huge $2 an hour so that people can work for them at still wages that are literally
Yeah,
insanely low.
you can take that extra $2 an hour and pay for your urinary tract infection from holding your pee because you couldn't pee all day long.
That is correct. This is the same company that requires you to carry a meter to let you know how much you've been working, how many things that you have stickered and pushed through as they work on these specific numbers. And if you don't meet these numbers, they fire you and hire another pool schlub to go through the whole process over again. They are ruthless when it comes to working at an Amazon warehouse for those who have never worked at one. And the way that you get your Amazon Prime is on the backs of a lot of these people who are worked in pretty horrible conditions. So think about it next time you order something from Amazon. We all do. It's not something that I'm telling you is like be all almighty and don't buy stuff from Amazon. Everybody does it. But just keep that in mind when you get mad because something doesn't deliver in 2 days and it says it was Prime delivery. People try really, really hard to basically make these insane quotas that are set by these taskmasters over there. And working at an Amazon warehouse is not fun, no matter how much they pay or how little they pay you. And these people are just, they're dependent on it. So it sucks. Uh,
So,
yeah.
I was posting on the Reddit dating forums last couple of days. Just responding to a lot of questions and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
also um, I made a post about dating in the time and era of the coronavirus and how people need to just like chill out and perhaps just take a break and not date during this time because it's a it is on some level dangerous to expose yourself to not just to one other person you want to go on a date with, but then
Mm-hmm.
on top of that you usually go to a bar or restaurant or something like that where you're around a whole bunch of other people too. So just like, hey, people, calm yourselves. When this is all done with, you can go back to normal, but ease up. And then got a lot of attention, got a lot of interesting stories from people, and some of the interesting responses were that people are now doing Skype and Zoom dates, where like the first time they're meeting, they're not actually meeting, even though they live in the same town. Their first date is sitting there by their computers eating food that they prepare themselves
Mm-hmm.
while looking at each other on screen and talking. And they said it's been very interesting that instead of letting the kind of physicality of being with someone take over and rushing to sleep together and all this other stuff, they're actually like sort of having to know the person, and it's changing the dynamic. I thought that was kind of a cool phenomenon.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think somebody took your idea and turned it into an article for The Guardian because you messaged me that you had posted this Saturday morning. If I am I right? Like you had posted that article uh, on Saturday morning by 3 p.m. on Saturday. Ellie Hunt had an article on The Guardian, "The Singleton Search for Love in the Time of Coronavirus." So
Oh yeah, a lot of people have been talking about it,
yeah.
but I was the one telling them you don't need this right now. Just stop.
So like but it is an interesting it is an interesting subject because of the fact that um, it is there are still single people out there, and imagine being socially isolated and you're just home alone for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Um, Pornhub's got you. It can help out, but it's not another person. So you know.
Well, a lot of the snarky comments on the post were guys being like, "Dude, I've been training for this for years. I haven't had a date in forever. I can definitely do this."
And there have been a lot of people who don't go out there and don't date regularly, and they're just one of those things in which they've been alone for a long, long time, and it is just one of those things that you know people who are lonely are just going to be a little bit more lonelier now, because they're going to be isolated in their own room. So it's very, very interesting. But now that we are going to go into day two, what are you going to do, social isolation wise? Any ideas for people out there who are socially, that are going to be by themselves, or what maybe to keep themselves busy besides work that they can do at home?
Well, I mean, the internet's got plenty. You know, we're so early into this in the states, at least. Um, there's plenty of Netflix to burn through. There's, everyone's got their subscriptions that they can go to, and my wife and I just started watching Outsider, um, which is Jason Bateman, Stephen King adaptation,
Hmm.
kind of a horror murder mystery deal. Not bad. It's fine. It'll do. I don't know if we watch it normally, but since we're not turning away any television right now, we're gonna probably spend a bunch of time in front of the TV these next few weeks. But my day two is probably going to be pretty simple. Um, there's literally no excuse for anyone who is on quarantine when it comes to exercise. Everyone can burn an hour just doing something in their house, push ups, sit ups, whatever you got.
Hmm.
A whole bunch of workout YouTube channels have come up with coronavirus quarantine exercise routines. So it's all body weight and doesn't require you to have bought anything. So there's good stuff you can do there. Might as well turn this into a time to improve yourself and keep your body healthy when you're stuck in a little room or whatever. So I'll probably get and do that, do some of that. Um, I've been doing a little bit of cooking. I did some uh, tilapia, and
Fish, nice.
yeah, it was nice. Did a little cornmeal batter and fried that up real nice. Had some rice and some vegetables, and yeah, it was a pleasure.
Ah, delicious.
So you could practice a little cooking if you got the stuff. Um,
That is the time with with everybody actually also hoarding everything. This is a good time to experiment in the kitchen. Fortunately, there was a couple who I saw on Reddit who had just started kitchen renovations right as the social distancing slash isolation started, and only now have a microwave, a toaster oven, and a like a refrigerator to keep them alive for going forward. So yeah, bad
nice.
timing. Yeah, yikes! It is. Yeah. So this is from the website Talkspace, and it is. There was an article that came out a couple days ago, how to protect yourself, your mental health during social distancing, and they give you a couple of ideas of what you should be doing. Tips include accentuating the positives. If you're a big fan of Reddit, I suggest Awe. Love those, or eye bleach. Cute pet animal photos usually put you in a good mood. Don't overload on the news. Uh,
That's huge, man.
huge, huge.
It's
Uh,
nonstop
it
trauma
it is
between
like the old people watching Fox
politics
News. Yeah,
and Corona. It's just hell.
your mind can't take all of it. So space out, play some video games. We saw that
Oh yeah,
Blizzard, all of a sudden, I think we saw a lot of people get this message, thinking that maybe they've stopped charging for WoW during the coronavirus month. Not sure if that's true or not, but
I think it's a rumor.
it would be amazing if they gave away free MMO time to people while they're
They
stuck
did
at home.
say that Steam has had the most action in the history of that company.
Hmm.
So a lot of people are on Steam playing games there. There's lots of interesting stuff, and it's cheap. So endless entertainment at your fingertips.
That's right. Find yourself a new streaming platform and enjoy it. And you got to realize that it won't last forever. This is not the way society is going to go forward. It is temporary, and you just got to remember that you just have to stay strong, and it'll be over eventually. Some tips that they said would be to set a schedule, keep yourself busy. Um, Social media, not in the sense of informing people things, but just to keep in touch with all of your friends to keep you sane is super important. FaceTime somebody. Start a talk show with your best friend, which is what I did. You know, so it's like this is our way of communicating. We hang out all the time, but now that we're gonna be in our apartments for God knows how long, where we shouldn't really uh, talk to other people, this might be a nice way for you to start an interesting podcast or a vodcast, which
Yeah,
is what this is.
just
Uh,
kill time.
exactly, just to do something. Do something different. Have some fun with it. Discover what the internet can provide. Uh, Also, by staying away of all of the nastiness that can also be out there. You know, it's time to
You can
explore and do new things. I think
you
so.
can also clean your damn house. Okay, I was in the bathroom this morning scrubbing everything, and uh, it's nice. Once it's all clean, you walk in there and you're like, hey, this is a comfortable place to be right now.
Exactly.
And it reminds you that you shouldn't let it get that bad.
But yeah, now everybody has all that extra time that 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 you can actually do any of that stuff. A little funny photo that was sent to me on Reddit. Um, it is just when we see all of those unstocked shelves, the Corona Extra not moving. It is true that people are not buying that beer that has actually been put on sale, and people not
you, you're
purchasing the beer.
okay. So again, I was over at Safeway earlier today,
Uh huh.
and every beer was on sale. Not just like some, e- every single can, bottle, 6 pack, 12 pack, whatever,
Hmm.
was all on sale. So I bought a 6 pack of Samuel Adams White Ale. They came out with something that's called Cold Snap or something like that. I never tried
Oh.
it. Sounded good, but I was like, hey, everything's $1 off, so it's good.
Yeah, I mean, like you know, a beer here or two just to enjoy some libations while you're stuck at home. Also, very very good. But don't go overboard. You'll be at
I
home
mean,
a
it's
lot,
Monday.
and it's Monday. You got 7 more days to go to to do all that stuff. So interesting. But yeah, going through the grocery stores and finding weird stuff on sale like that is always fun, especially when that stuff happens. The
I'm
WW,
wondering if they're
yeah,
just trying to move it or something. It's
maybe.
like because I've never seen anything like that before. Like they usually certain items just never go on sale,
Hmm.
or it's usually like one or two kinds of beer that they want to move out so they get the next ones in. This was everything, so I'm just wondering if they're worried about restocking, or or maybe it wasn't selling much and they just want to clear the shelves.
Well, that's the thing, right? Alcohol in a lot of places, a lot of grocery stores take up a lot of room. So maybe they thought in anticipation of Corona, people would be buying a lot more beer and wine, and instead people bought more bottled water and other drinks. So therefore, maybe they overstocked, and
Do
therefore you gotta
people
get rid of it.
drink more during times of high stress and uh,
I think so.
like not personal anxiety, but like large scale social anxiety? I wonder.
It could be. I know that like during snowstorms, uh, see the thing about it is like this area is used to people panic buying for snow, for example, right? And during snowstorms, alcohol sales go through the roof because that type of isolation people know is temporary, so they go out and enjoy themselves and buy beer, wine, spirits, get drunk and shovel snow, and people have a good time. This is a little different. People being stuck at home, unwillingly, and it's not like that the outside is preventing you from going anywhere. It's actually it was what 70 degrees today here in the area that we live in, and it was really nice. Yet the roads were pretty empty, and office buildings were there was non-existent. So it's like it's a little different. So I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things that uh, they thought they wanted to model it after a snowstorm, and it's just completely opposite. Like purchase wise, with regards to what's been going on.
Could be.
Yeah. So during all of this, um, I guess everybody knows the rules when it comes to everything and what you should be doing and how to protect yourself. So we always like to get that information directly from the CDC. We'll post that up again. Remember to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. The hand sanitizer helps. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, which I've been doing during this cast, and I've been talking the entire time. Avoid close contact with those people who are sick. And if you're sick, stay home. Uh, Use tissues. Do not use your hands to cover a sneeze. Use your elbow. Use your forearm or a tissue, and wear a face mask if you are sick. But if you're not sick, save those face masks for those who absolutely need them, as well as cleaning and disinfecting surfaces on a daily basis to make sure that no germs stay on there. And this is from the cdc.gov/coronavirus. This is official information that the government has given out to people to help you prevent the spread of the disease. So, in this case, it's a virus. So, but yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
make sure you don't make out with Idris Elba, no matter how much you want to,
Oh,
because he is
Black
also
Superman
diagnosed.
was infected. That's right. That he called that. He himself called that. So that's why I'm referencing. He referenced that in the what is it, the Hobbs and Shaw movie. He called himself Black Superman. That is now what I call him from now on. But yes, that is correct. Idris Elba was infected with coronavirus. That is official as of today. He's not the only one. I think there were some other people who were also affected by corona, um, who are also famous.
Trudeau's wife.
You have Trudeau's wife, the president of Brazil, I think, is infected with coronavirus. Um, and it's not limited to just normal people. Everybody is getting this. When Tom Hanks and his wife are in self isolation in Australia because both of them have uh, they have been affected, that is the real deal. That is nothing new. This just posted from the Hill. Uh, Senator Cotton, GOP senator from Arkansas, wants to give monthly checks to low income and middle class Americans so that they can afford necessities. So, you know, everybody's bucking the trend. Even Republicans are saying they want to set up some sort of relief system for people who are um, going to be receiving or be in this time of need. The proposal is in their monthly checks would be $1,000 per adult or $4,000 per family of four. This business told Business Insider that he has not settled on a hard number, but hopefully, um, you know, they can do something to help people, especially during this time, because if this goes on for an extended period of time, it would be very difficult for people, especially that on hourly wages, to earn any money during this time. Because if you don't work, you don't earn money in a lot of cases. Not everybody's salary, so they got to do something. So that just in from the Hill, uh, and Tom Cotton of Arkansas, a notorious hardliner on the Republican side, even wanting a little bit of that UBI may be helpful for Americans in need. So looks like people may be changing their tune when it comes to that stuff during these things. So
Yeah, we'll see. It's doing it for 1 month the government could probably eat that, but doing that for a number of months uh, would add up, and there'd be so much loss otherwise. And you look at what's happening with the stock market; it's a dangerous time financially for all of America.
Yeah, yeah, very
And
much so. Like, yeah, people's 401ks just got halved, pretty much, by what's been going
yep.
on. Yeah, so that's what happens when you depend on a retirement system that's based on the GDP of America, essentially. So instead of just having a standard retirement system where you pay into and then you you work at a location and then they give you some sort of pension, which is what senators get, government workers that have been appointed get, things like that. You put into a plan tax free into the market, and hopefully that money doubles, triples, quadruples to give you enough for your retirement. And when things like this happen, people who take it up the shorts are the ones that have been saving properly and are on the verge of retirement, and then see all of that money just disappear in 1 week. And that is what happened to those people this week. And I would be freaking the hell out if I had a retirement income balance of, let's say $750,000, and all of a sudden it's $350,000 as of the end of the day today. That's messed up. So,
Yeah.
and that
Well,
that
I
has
think
that has happened to people, and I would be freaking the hell out if that happened. So,
yeah, I think people. I mean, things bounce back over time. It's just, can you survive it? Can you make it through that time
hmm
period for it to rebound? This will not be the end of America, but it is. It is going to put a lot of people that were in financially shaky situations into dire situations.
correct.
And with our government so ready and willing to throw billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to the banks and to Wall Street, basically, um, it would be nice if they gave that same attention to people to help them survive through this.
Yep. So, you know, yeah. Well, we've sort of talked this into the ground pretty much. uh, any light-hearted things maybe you've discovered on Reddit to hopefully get it, maybe end us on a good note here, Timmy?
Ooh, funny things on Reddit. I don't think I know of anything. I mean, most of Reddit is baby animals,
Hmm.
and while that is great, uh, if you're not looking at it yourself, it doesn't do much to describe it.
Yeah. The hashtag that people are following is the Stay at Home Challenge. Hashtag Stay Home Challenge has been what's trending on Twitter. So people have been posting videos of what they've been doing staying at home. Uh, you've got kids singing karaoke, people making friggin' toilet paper roll forts because they bought too much toilet paper, because they went crazy. Um, things like that. Um, you know, for those who have streaming services, there has been an uptick in Netflix views and activity. Not just them, but Amazon Prime and all of the streaming services. I installed a Roku TV for my aunt this morning, and she's been exploring all of the things that she can watch from her bedroom, and she's loving it so far. So that's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. It may be another day that we get on here and start chatting, and we start getting a little more desperate with how we spend our time. Had to start getting creative. But I mean, hell, just getting on here and streaming—that's something to do. So
exactly.
we can just do it.
Yep. So that is something to do. But you know what? I think we'll try to keep you involved. We'll try to update everybody on news and events here in the channel, as well as trying to bring you some maybe some relationship content while we're
Yeah,
here,
we
and,
gotta
and
get
keep
back
you
to that.
get back to what we are very good at, and it is telling people exactly what they should be doing about their relationship issues. So we'll get back to that eventually. We'll probably hopefully get back to that on Wednesday, which is our normal time here on Twitch line. We're normally on at around 10 to 10:30, and we stay on for about an hour or so. And hope we'll have some we'll have some topics for you on Wednesday and some updates here with regards to Corona and everything else. But I think that's going to end it for us today. Everybody stay safe. Enjoy your time at home if you are working from home, but if you do have to go outside, please, you know, make sure that you do what you need to do to not expose yourself as much as possible. But that's going to be it for us. For Tim, I am Z. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you on Wednesday with more fun topics.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.